Hello everybody, I'm Dallin and welcome to X Uses Zest. In today's LEGO tutorial video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to completely redo the inside of the LEGO Bad Batch attack shuttle. That way you're able to have a ton more space, as you can see here. Now what's awesome about this modification is that you're able to fit pretty much every single member of the Bad Batch inside of here. It's a little cramped, but you know, it works. Plus a whole lot more details on the inside as well that you see in the show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so before we start off today's video, I'd like to welcome anybody who may be new here to the channel. Welcome to X Uses Zest, the place where we talk all about Legos, Nerf guns, video games, and more. If you'd like to, please consider joining us by hitting that red subscribe button down below, as well as clicking that bell icon right next to it to be notified when we make new videos. Also, if you end up enjoying today's video, please consider leaving a big thumbs up on it. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out this modification now. Okay, so basically I went ahead and just removed the top. It's definitely an important part of the modification that we'll get to later, but just for now, we're going to remove that. That way I can show you guys everything that we're going to be doing in here. So first things first, I went ahead and removed all of the Technic gunk that was just right here. And that was basically the biggest part of the set. That was very challenging because, you know, that's basically what's holding this entire thing together. But the nice part about this modification was I made it so you can work around that completely, which is super awesome. I also went ahead and extended the ship by 4 studs that you can see here with this grilled piece and this flat tile piece. That way I was able to add on a little loading ramp, which is super fun to use, and it's a whole lot more accurate to the show as well. And just to keep things symmetrical, I did the same thing on this side, but I made this door into kind of a little weapons rack right here. And you know, that way you're not using it. Because as far as I remember in the show, they don't ever use this side. It's always just right here. Okay, and this part is probably the biggest part of the modification that we'll be doing here today. Basically, what you're going to be doing is removing the big, I believe it's a 1x8 Technic beam that just goes across right here. And that holds the wings together. And basically what, what I've done here was I used a ton of jumper plates. That way I was able to still use Technic pieces, but they're more kind of just inside right here, and then kind of anchor them to the rest of the ship. That way you're able to still use the wings without having any structural compromise, which is super awesome. And then just here in the back, you know, I also just cleared out a bit of space, and I also went ahead and created the monitors that we see in the show. It's not exactly accurate, but I really do like the sticker pieces that the set came with, so I went ahead and just used those. And yeah, basically we're just going to be gutting this for the most part. And yeah, now before we begin modifications, I would like to advise you to basically separate all of the pieces from the original set. That way you basically have everything just off to the side, because we're going to be reusing a lot of the pieces that came with this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so first things first, I think it's going to be easier showing you guys these things in just little bits and pieces. That way you're able to follow along, and I'm able to keep track of all of my pieces as well. So with that being said, starting off with the front here with the cockpit, everything on the outer shell of this is unchanged. So you know, you don't have to change any of these pieces at all, except for the inside here with the chairs. So in your model, if you haven't modified yours yet, basically everything is going to be connected to a bunch of Technic stuff kind of behind the cockpit. It just sits right here, and you're basically going to want to just gut all of that out and set it off to the side. And basically the goal of this is to basically just put the entirety of the cockpit all on this piece right here. That way it's just one solid piece, you know, it's its own little section right there, and that's what it should look like. This next section goes directly behind the cockpit, just like this. I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly how to build it. So as you can see here on the screen, these are all of the pieces that you'll need to build the right-hand door. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with this brick right here. We'll get our 1x1 piece, put it right there. Get our clippy piece, put it right there. We'll get this piece, put it right there. It should look like this so far. You should get your blue piece and put it right there. Then we'll get our 1x4, put it on just like that. Get our other clippy piece and put it on right there. Put our 1x3 right there. And finally, put our tile piece right here. And you should have something that looks like this. Now, building the other side of this is relatively the same. However, if you want to build the mini weapons rack, you'll need one of these clippy pieces instead of just the regular 1x1 piece. To build this, we'll go ahead and start off with our brick right here, followed by our 2 clippy pieces. So one right there, and then one right here. Should look something like that. Then we'll get this piece right here with our blue piece as well. Then we'll get our 1x4 piece, then our 1x3, then our other clippy piece, and then finally our 1x4 tile. Now I'll go ahead and show you guys how to build the final part of this section. To build this section of the ship, you're going to need these pieces that you see here on the screen. I will note that this is a 2x12 piece right here. To start off, we're going to go ahead and take this 2x12 right here, followed by this black piece. It's one of those smooth ones that kind of goes on the underside. Then we'll go ahead and take this 2x4 right here, put it just so it's 3 studs over, as you can see here, or I guess 4 if you want to count this piece right here. Go ahead and take these pieces as well, followed by our 1x4, and this piece, and then we'll take our 1x6s, put them just like that. And you should have something that looks like this so far. Then we'll go ahead, take our 4x4 and kind of hold it all together just like that. And then you don't have to do this part right here. I just use this for my temporary landing gear. But you can go ahead and put these pieces on just like that right here. And there you have it. So once you have this section done, basically it just connects to the rest of the ship just like that. And then you'll go ahead and get your doors and put them on just like that. And you should have something like this so far. This next section is a little bit smaller, but it's incredibly important because it attaches to the back of the cockpit right here and attaches to the rest of the ship and basically makes it so that you're able to have these doors right here. So let's go ahead and build it. Okay, so basically to build this, you're going to need these pieces on the screen, but you're going to need 2 of each since we're basically going to be mirroring the other side. So to go ahead and build it, we'll go ahead and take these pieces right here and put them together just like this. Then we'll get these pieces right here. I believe these pieces actually come with the original set. You put them on just like that. We'll get this grill piece, this 1x2 tile, and then this 1x2 piece right here. And then we'll go ahead and you're going to need these 3 pieces right here, 2 studs and a 1x6 tile piece. So you'll put 1 stud on each side. And then connect the 2 together. Now, once you have it all built, we're just gonna go ahead and set it to the side for now. Okay, so now we get to the biggest and probably the most complicated part of this modification. So first thing that you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and remove the side panels and just set them off to the side. And basically, I'll show you guys how to build all of this. Once again, just make sure that you have basically everything gutted out for now, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how to put it all back together. To start off this section, you are going to need these pieces that you see here on the screen. This is a 1x10 piece that you see right here, just so you know. Now, once you've collected all of your pieces, basically what you're going to need to do is kind of just get your wings to look like this. Not much is going to be changing structurally here in the back, but in the front, you're going to want to remove the Technic piece that spans right here. Okay, so hopefully now you have all of your pieces together. We're gonna go ahead and take these Technic pieces and put them on just like that. Then we're gonna go ahead and get our 1x10 piece right here. Then our 1x4 piece. And we'll get these pieces and put them all together just like this. And you should have something that looks like this so far. For this next section of the ship, you're going to want to gut out this area of the ship. Basically, this is kind of like the cargo hold area, and you're going to want to basically get it to look like this. Just make it a nice and clean slate. And just for reference here on the bottom, I went ahead and added just a little bit of extra support here. Basically, so I can have my pretty janky landing gear system, which doesn't really work too well. But overall, I just added this here on the bottom for extra support. You don't necessarily need like a ton of it, but I would recommend having some support here on the bottom as well. So now that we have our pieces here, we're gonna go ahead and put them together just like this. Then we're gonna go ahead and stack these 1x1 pieces right here and put them in this area right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and take our double jumper plates, and basically you're going to want to get it so it looks like that. So once you have this section of the ship done right here, you can go ahead and put the wings on right here and then kind of line up these Technic pieces on the double jumper plates. And you can see why we're going to need a little bit of extra support here, because right where these Technic pieces connect to the double jumper plates, there really isn't a whole lot of support just because the wings are so heavy. So that is why we're going to build basically this mess right here. This is just one side of it, and this basically holds pretty much the entire ship together. So this is an incredibly important part. So I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly how to do it. Okay, so as you can see here on the screen, these are the pieces that you're going to need. I tried to separate these pieces out as best as I could just by color. So here we have our light grays, our dark grays, our very light sand blue, our blue Lego Technic pin, and then this piece right here basically came from the original set. So I'm not going to show you guys exactly how to build that. Okay, so to start, we're gonna go ahead and take this piece that you see right here, and then this brick right here. Then we'll take this 1x1 Technic piece and this blue pin, and then put those pieces together just like this, and then our brick right here. We're just gonna go ahead and set that off to the side for now. We'll go ahead and take these two pieces right here. Now you don't necessarily have to use these pieces. You can just use a regular 1x1 brick, but I went ahead and just used these for a little bit of extra detail because the ship is a little bit lacking in that. Then we'll go ahead and take a jumper plate and put it right here, and we'll take our brick and put it right there. Now next thing that we're going to do is we are going to get this 1x2 right here, and then put a stud on the bottom of that, as well as on top of that. Then we'll take one of our clippy pieces and put it right there. And then we will go ahead and get this L-shaped piece and put it on just like that. You should have something that looks like this so far. All right. Now, I'm trying to mirror this as best as possible in this, but you can see that it's a bit of a mess. So for now, let's go ahead and build kind of like the venting area, I guess, which is kind of like this right here. So you're gonna go ahead and take these pieces right here, put them together just like this. Just like that, and put them like that. All right, so we have those set off to the side, and then we'll go ahead and get this jumper plate right here, and then get this jumper plate right here and put this right here on top. I'm just trying to remember how exactly this all went together. So this goes right here, this jumper plate right here goes like that. And then this jumper plate right here with the stud goes like that. And then it all kind of goes together like that. And then once you have this piece right here, we're basically going to clip it in right there. And there you go, you have one side of it. Okay, so to build the other side of the supports, you are going to need these pieces that you see here on the screen. So once you have all of your pieces here together, you're going to basically mirror what we did on the other side. I'll try and make sure that I don't mess this up somehow, because I can vouch for you, this is just as confusing to me as it probably is to you. But yeah, we'll go ahead and start off and do the same thing that we did with the Technic brick here on this side. Then we'll go ahead and take these pieces, put them together like that, and then grab our jumper plate, put it right there, and put that brick right there. All right. Now, next thing that we're going to do, we grab our 1x2 piece right here, stud right here, stud right here. You should have something like this so far. And then we'll get our clippy piece, put it on just like that. Ooh. Get our L piece and put it on just like that. Then we'll get our jumper plate, put it right there, and a little 1x1 square. Then we'll get another jumper plate, put it right there, put a stud on the bottom of that, and then get this piece right here. And then now we just need to build the little venting area. So we'll go ahead and take this hinge piece, connect it right there, just like that, and then connect those pieces together, just like so. Then we'll go ahead and take our textured brick, and then this last piece right there, and then hook it together in the clippy piece. And that is the other side. Okay, so now we have our big piece right here, and then the two pieces of craziness that we just built. So basically how this is all going to connect, it'll basically just butt up against it like this right here. And it appears, for me at least, it seems to be kind of falling apart. But if you go through and make sure that everything is connecting like it should, just like this, then you should be good. And I'll go ahead and do the same thing here on this side. It's kind of weird just going around making sure that everything is connecting like it needs to. And there you go. So right now it doesn't seem like super stable, and you know, a couple of the pieces here are falling off of me, but now you at least have a little bit of extra structural support. And you know, I tried to move the wings a little bit, but that's where this piece comes in right here. So now that we have all of this, we can go ahead and connect the rest of the ship to itself. We'll take this piece right here and put it on just like that. And basically it should hold together just like that. Now the last thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to finish up the back here, as well as do a little bit of work here on the side panels. Okay, so now that we're done with this complicated part right here, we need to figure out a way to be able to anchor these side panels back on to the ship. That way we're able to kind of hold this all together, and that way everything just sits nice and flush with this top piece right here. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to build these little pieces right here that will just go along right here. Let's go ahead and start off with this right here. And of course, here are all the pieces that you'll need to build it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start off by building the little monitor piece. Now it's not necessarily accurate to the show, but I wanted to go ahead and reuse these stickered pieces that came with the set because, I mean, look how cool these are. You got a little space battle right here and then a Wolfpack Trooper right here. I mean, that is really cool and probably some of the coolest stickers I've seen in a LEGO Star Wars set in a long time. But these pieces will all go on just like this. And then the monitor will sit just like that. And then once you have that built, we'll kind of pull this over just so you guys can see. And this will go on just like that. Now I'll show you how to build the other side. As you can see here, these are all the pieces that you'll need. All right, so to build it, we'll go ahead and take these pieces, put them together like that. That will go right there. That will go right there. Then this piece will go right there. Make sure that's lined up right. Then this piece will go underneath just to kind of close a gap. And then this is optional if you want, but right here, we're basically building a little mini weapon rack for hunter's knives. So now that we've built it, basically how you're going to put it in, it's going to sit on this jumper plate just like the other side. And it should just snap in nicely just like so. Okay, so now we just have to get these side panels on here. And you kind of just have to work around with the rest of the ship and make sure that this rear engine part kind of just gets around this circular piece right here. You can just snap those in just like that. It's a bit of a pain. But I guess this was also a problem for other people. Just for like after they had built it, sometimes these pieces will just come off if you're being a little too rough with them. But hopefully now they'll sit a little bit better just for you guys. We're so close to being done. Basically, we just need to build this piece right here to level off the back. So let's build it. Here are all of the pieces that you'll need. Okay, so to build it, we're gonna start off with these pieces right here. We'll get this black piece and put it on just like that. And these gray pieces will go on right here. These dark gray pieces will go on right here. And technically this is where the rear cannons are right here. But I did a modification in a previous video where I moved those rear cannons up towards the gunner seat right here. So if you want to see how I did that, I'll go ahead and put a link to the video in the description. Basically, you're going to take these three black pieces right here. You're going to put them just like that. And then just for a little bit of extra, cheese slip detail and stuff, just gonna put that right there. And then you'll put these pieces on just like that. I'll go ahead and zoom out for you guys so you can see. And now it should just sit nicely right here. Just like that. The last thing that we'll need to do is extend the top part of the ship so that it will fit with the rest. The first thing that you're going to want to do is take out some pieces so the bottom of the top of the ship looks exactly like this. We'll start off by building this right here. Here are all the pieces that you will need. To start off, we'll go ahead and take this piece right here, followed by these two pieces, as well as this piece right here. It should go together just like this. And there you go. Once you have this built, this will go right here. And it should look like that. Once you have that done, you're going to want to get these four pieces right here. You could put this orange piece right there, this piece right here, that right there, and then that right there. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're gonna want these pieces right here. I only use these two pieces because I ran out of these. So what you're going to do is you're basically just going to stack these on top of the 4x4 here. And that will go just right there. And I'll take the piece that kind of just flew away, just a little 1x2. It'll go right there. And this piece will kind of anchor that all together, just like that. Finally, you'll take your cockpit piece and put it right there. And you basically finish up the top. Now, the last thing that you need to do for this modification is basically just press that piece in and then lay it down. And there you have it. Now, of course, the last thing that you'll need to do is add a bit of extra detail here on the inside, however you may like. Well guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. This is definitely one of my favorite LEGO modifications that I've done in a while. If you have any sort of questions, comments, or concerns, or if you have any suggestions or ideas for future modifications, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section. I would love to hear back from you guys. With that being said, thank you all so much for joining me here today. If you ended up liking this video, please consider leaving a big thumbs up on it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you all so much and have a great day.